What is good, everyone? Welcome to today's trade recap. Welcome back to my channel, KT Trades. Today is Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. I'm going to be going over the one trade I ended up taking. I took a win of $650 on the funded account. So I am up $650 on the funded account. I previously recorded this trade recap, but it was a little bit laggy, so I'm redoing it now. And let's go over the price action today. So this is the one trade that I ended up taking right here. I'm going to be going over and explaining why I took it right here. Let's just go into replay mode and see what was the day looking like. So market open was right here. So coming into the day, if we hop on the 4-hour chart right here, we can see that we were displacing lower. We had disrespected this 4-hour gap and tapped into this 4-hour gap right here, as well as this 1-hour gap that was inside here. Now we had sell side liquidity below and previous day low right here. And I wanted to see what we wanted to do. I was leaning bearish because of this fat displacing candle. So if we drop down to the 1 hour, we can see that we did hit this 1-hour gap right here. And I wanted to see what we were going to do, if we were just going to bounce off of this 1 hour and 4-hour gap, or we were going to hit this 1 hour and 4-hour gap, come back up, tap into a PD array, and then go back lower to potentially these liquidity pools down here. So we dropped down into the 50-minute. Market ended up opening. After market opened, we tapped into this 15-minute gap right here, and we just kept going higher and higher and higher with no signs of going any lower. So I dropped down into the 5-minute, and I realized that we had this 5-minute internal high here that we could potentially bounce off of, either this 15-minute or this 5-minute internal high. So we come up, we tap this 5-minute internal high here, we make an SMT with it since ES didn't take it. If we look at ES right here, ES at this point was right here. You can see that we did have an SMT with it. So I dropped down into the 1-minute, and I see that we have a inverse fair value gap right here. I wanted to end up taking it off of this inverse fair value gap, but we didn't end up really inversing it on this candle right here. As I told you guys in one of my older trade recaps, probably the first or second video I made, if you have to zoom in to see if it inverse or not, it is not an inverse. So you can see right here, technically if you zoom in, yeah, it does look like an inverse, but no, I want to see it with displacement. So I waited for that displacement candle. We got that displacement candle on this one right here. So I placed my limit on the inverse, on the retest of the inverse fair value gap. Fortunately, we didn't end up getting that, and I had high conviction in this trade because of the amount of low resistance liquidity we had right here. So I placed that limit, didn't end up getting hit, and I didn't want it to run without me. So I waited for the CISD right here, which is an even better confirmation. Yeah, RR wise it's less, but it's better confirmation that we are going to go lower. So we get the CISD. I place my limit on the CISD. Boom, get filled in right here. And price action today was kind of choppy because we have FOMC later in the day. But I had really high conviction in this trade. It looked like a clean setup. But then we started chopping right here. Ended up chopping. And I did have initially my break-even point was right here. But I ended up removing that break-even point and placing it on this candle right here, because my thought process was, if we're going to hit this low right here, we might as well go ahead and run all of this low resistance liquidity here. And thank God I made that decision, because if my break-even was there, I would have been boom, stopped that break-even right there. So I ended up removing that break-even, setting my break-even down here, and I just waited. As you can see, almost got stopped out right there. Boom, set my stops at break even here. And at this point, ES had taken the target on this candle right here. So this candle, ES had taken the target around when NQ was around right here. So I ended up trailing my stop to this body closure of the candle right here. And because I really had high conviction, NQ at this point was right here, as I said, so it did look like we wanted to run it. I trailed my stop instead of full closing, and NQ ended up smacking full TP for $650. So yeah, that's what I get for being patient, waiting for the proper setup. I faded Monday, faded Tuesday because the setups were buns. And I saw this clean setup, ended up taking it, ended up getting rewarded for it. $650 on the funded account. Hopefully we can get a payout. And make sure you guys subscribe, turn on post notifications so you get notified every time I upload. Make sure you follow my TikTok and Instagram. Links are down below in the link tree because I do upload sauce on there. Not only trading sauce, but self-improvement sauce, all that shit, bro. So make sure you guys go follow on there, get notified every time I upload, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.